guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
10 plus amazing facts about Argentina. It's a big country with a lot of talent. Mauricio Macri.
Life and culture exists in many different places, from north, south, east, west, and all over the planet. It exists even in the barren Arctic tundra of the countries like Sweden or Iceland, to some of the desolate deserts within Pakistan and Egypt, and all the way to the jungles of Brazil and Argentina and South America. And here on FTV Facts, we are always very determined to learn about many different cultures, people, and countries from around the world. And we like to look at what makes these places beautiful and amazing. So, today, welcome to the country of Argentina, where we are going to discover what is great about it and learn some things that we may have never known before. Hey everybody, how's it going? Dave Walton here. Welcome to FTV Facts, the channel where we talk about people, cultures, and
more casual. Usually
places
from
all
like
around the world. Now, for this video, I'm actually really excited to talk about it because, well, Argentina is just a country that we have not talked about yet, and actually we did a poll. We actually over 50 going to get picked countries and different places from our Pirates of the Caribbean. Right now, lip 6. Now it has a population of 43,847,430 people as of a 2016 estimate. Now keep in mind there has not been a census done since 2010, in which at that time the population was roughly a little bit over 40 million, so there's some growth since then. And during the 2010 census, it stood at the 30th largest country in the world when it comes to population. Now, scooting right over, let's take a look at the land size of this country. Now, it is quite a big country. As a matter of fact, it's one of the biggest in all of South America. And this country, Argentina, comes in at a land size of 2,780,400 square kilometers, making it the 8th largest country in the entire world, with a water percentage of 1.5%. Guys, I don't know if that water percentage is based off of fresh water or if it's fresh water with, ocean water as well. I'm assuming it's just fresh water, but that's the percentage we have. And although Argentina has some very interesting facts about its land size and landscape, we got to finish up talking about people and culture first. Because throughout all of this land size with the population, it has a population density of 14.4 people per square kilometer, making it rank at 214th in the world when it comes to the density of population.
Yeah, that's very low population. So square kilometer, 14 people. When you think about, wow, that's crazy. A lot of land.
But who are these people? What kind of people live in Argentina? What kind of cultures do we have? Well, let's take a quick look. Now, Argentina is a country that is predominantly Roman Catholic, with over 77.1% identifying as that religion. About 10.8% identify as Protestant, and 10.1% identify as non-religious. And about 2.6% of the population follow other forms of religion that are not identified. And when I say unidentified, I mean like it's just there's no list to that, it just means other, right? Now for the demographics, when it comes to male and female, there's approximately 1 woman to 0.97 men. And for this country, they say there are about 40 different spoken languages.
So slightly more women, but I feel like that's pretty close. 1 woman for 0.97 men, that's pretty close.
Languages in all of Argentina. Spanish or
He didn't say that statistic for other countries, I don't remember, that how many women to men.
Maybe it's not as, I think it may be drastically what we think.
That's what I'm, because it's our third time reacting to him. It's the first time he's mentioning the ratio of the genders.
What is it here in the States?
I don't know. Honestly, we would probably do 10 facts about the United States.
Espanol is actually number 1, and it is the 4th largest speaking Spanish country in the world, after Mexico, Spain, and even Colombia. As for English, they estimate that there's about 42.5% of the people who can speak it, and only about 15% of that have a high understanding of the English language and can use complex compound word structure. On top of that, there's also about 1.5 million speakers in
I don't know what this means. This means 97
males per 100 females?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, exactly. Same as he said for Argentina too. 0.97 to 1 woman. It's the same thing.
Okay.
And about 1 million speakers in Arabic. As well, there are a bunch of other
But
like.
that's overall in the world. There's more women than men, so I think maybe just that might be the world statistic too, like kind of similar ratio.
Languages that are within the country, such as French, German, Yiddish, Japanese, and many more.
Except in China, because they used to not give birth to girls, so because of the one-child policy, I think that affected how many women there are in the country. I think China actually might have an opposite rate.
So where does the word Argentina come from? What is the meaning behind this country?
For China, there's 104 males to 100 females.
You see the difference? Yeah, basically 7 men different per same amount of women, I think China is the only one country that have more, well, maybe not the only one, but like one of the countries that...
Country generally has a meaning behind it, and Argentina does as well. Well, for Argentina, it is Latin for the word silver. And the reason for this is because many Europeans thought this new land was going to be loaded with silver. And as a matter of fact, they were correct because it produces a lot of silver for the entire world. This is because when it comes to...
the other channel said something different.
Yeah, the other channel said that they didn't really find silver.
They had like other things.
Yeah, other... not silver.
Silver on the silver list, it's ranked 10th in the world for producing this product. And this country actually has a lot of silver, and they say every single year it produces about 20.6 million ounces of silver. And the largest mine within Argentina is the Perquitas mine, which has about 7...
That's so interesting how different channels give different information.
74 million ounces of silver in its reserves, and is actually considered the largest silver mine out of any mine in the entire world. Pretty crazy. Now, to break this down even further, let's take a look at the GDP. Now, the gross domestic product purchasing power parity for Argentina sits at $959.528 billion, being approximately 25th in the world for GDP power. And its GDP per capita sits at $21,528, ranking 56th in the world. And because of this, Argentina is considered a middle emerging economy and being one of the top developing nations in the entire world. And to go a little further into understanding the power of Argentina, we should take a look at the exports and imports. For exports, they sit at $129 billion, ranking 45th in the world. And roughly 6% of their exports come from soybean meal, 7% of it comes from corn. Soybean oil also makes up 6.9%. As well, they have a lot of other exports that...
So a lot of agriculture exports. I thought it was more, would be like the mine stuff, because when you did the other, I think it was like copper and stuff like that, they produce a lot.
Are just not listed here today. And when it comes to this country, we should also mention that Argentina is one of the biggest agricultural producers in the entire world. And the reason for this is because agriculture provides up to 9% of its total GDP. And as well, on a side note, when it comes to their agriculture, their organic farming sector is growing rapidly and currently has over 3 million hectares of organic cultivation, which actually has this country ranked second in the world for organic farming, right next to Australia, which sits at number 1.
That's really cool. Wow, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Wow, that's really dope. Australia too, cool, I didn't know. I mean, I assumed it wouldn't be the States because there isn't that much organic here, but wow, good to know, good for you guys.
So if we're going to talk about exports, imports, GDP and all that stuff, we gotta mention that Argentina is the 5th largest wine producing country in the world. It's great. Okay. And their wine is pretty darn good, I'm not going to lie. As a matter of fact, Argentina sits at the 1st largest wine producing country in all of South America, with a region known as Mendoza being the largest region for producing wine. And this is because this particular region produces 2/3 of the wine that is produced by the entire country. It also should be noted that when it comes to the wines that are produced within this region, they are generally cultivated near Mount Aconcagua, making the wines produced within that area some of the highest produced wines when it comes to altitude, generally being cultivated at an average height of 2,000 and 3,600 feet above sea level.
I wonder if that affects the taste because of the altitude. If grapes taste a little different of the altitude or not. I have no idea, but I just had that thought.
And in 2008, reports had shown that Mendoza had approximately 144,000 hectares of vineyards. Now, one of the crazy parts is that this country actually consumes more wine than it actually exports. It's pretty nuts. They love their wine. This is because studies have shown that Argentinians consume approximately 90% of all the wine that is produced within the country, which equates to about 46 gallons a year in total, at least in 2006. Now,
90% they're consumed. That's so they barely export anything. They drink everything. Wow.
to go further into this economy, let's take a quick look at imports, because their imports sit at $128 billion, ranking 45th in the world. And their biggest imports are cars, refined petroleum, telephones, packaged medicaments, and other things of that nature. And considering we're talking about landscape and the region of Mendoza, we should probably talk about its provinces or states. So the question is, does Argentina have states or provinces? Well, firstly, Argentina is known as a federation, and because of that, it actually has 23 provinces and 1 autonomous city. With Buenos Aires being the most with population, having approximately 15 to 17 million as for a 2018 estimate, it is also the largest province in the entire country, coming in with a total land...
It's kind of crazy. A third of people live in Buenos Aires. Like a third of the whole country. That's kind of crazy because it's a big country.
Size of 307,571 kilometers square. The smallest of this is Tierra del Fuego, with only approximately 164,000 people as of a 2018 estimate, but it is also the smallest province with a land size of 21,263 kilometers square.
Wow.
Now, that's not all when it comes to land size, because one thing we definitely gotta mention is mountains. So what is the tallest mountain in Argentina? Well, we did just mention it, and this is Mount Aconcagua, with a height coming in at 22,831 feet tall. And it's actually so big that it is the biggest mountain in the southern and western hemispheres. It's got a lot of rep.
Yeah, we saw, I think this is the second highest peak in the world after the Everest. I think they have it.
This particular mountain, it was first climbed to a complete summit by a Swiss explorer named Matthias Zurbriggen on January 14th of 1897. It also should be mentioned that this particular mountain was featured in the 1942 Disney cartoon called Pedro, which is about a small plane who goes on a mail mission and has to climb and get past this mountain, and the mountain does not make it easy. Now, as well for the southern region of Argentina, there is also a lowland called Laguna del Carbon. And it is an area that is approximately 5 kilometers in length and 2 kilometers in width, coming in with a rough size of 9 kilometers square of surface area. And what's special about this region? Well, it is the lowest region in all of Argentina. It's really down low. As a matter of fact, it sits far below sea level, coming in at a total of negative 344 feet below sea level. And this region is not...
How did they not drown? That's a lot below sea level, wow.
Just the lowest in all of Argentina, but is the 7th lowest region in the entire world. Now, of course, you might think of Argentina, you may think to yourself, well...
It's like a hole, then.
Yeah, I assume like when it rains... Ooh, child, it gets really feel bad.
Well, it's still a developing nation, but at one point, Argentina was a very, very powerful country.
That's so interesting.
This is because in the year of 1913, it was listed as one of the 10th wealthiest countries in the world. And this is because of its fertile land and economic growth that it beat countries like my own country of Canada and even countries like Australia in population, income, and income per capita. And for this lasted until about the 1930s, and of course there are many speculations as to why Argentina kind of declined when it came to its economy. One of the biggest pointers is its military, because it took over the government way back in the day. But keep in mind there were other things that were happening, such as the Great Depression, which lowered the country's GDP. But it should be also known that until about 1962, it still had one of the highest GDPs, beating countries like Austria, Italy, and even its former country, Spain. And perhaps next time we will get into more of a history of this great and powerful nation and learn more about what makes this country so unique and amazing. My name is Dave Walpolgott.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, very good. There was some interesting info that we don't know. Yeah, I like his channel, good videos.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.